Okay, today marks day 4 of Lent. Um, Yesterday I did a thing where I went through and I marked down all the days of Lent that there were going to be and marked as like the topics I wanted to talk about for that day. For day 4, I wanted to talk about what would be considered a typical job. There will be no video tomorrow as in the typical 40-day Lent calendar. There will be no video tomorrow as within the typical 40-day Lent calendar. There's something I kind of failed to look into myself. Lent, I'm really kind of getting into it. It makes a lot more sense now, but Sundays are not counted within Lent. And so that makes sense as to why it always felt longer than 40 days than it actually was, because we weren't taking into account Sundays, which Sunday is God's day. So, obviously. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about typical jobs. Right now, what I do for work is I do Uber Eats. I deliver for Uber Eats, and I do that around the area. I make an alright amount for the amount that I do. I'm not rich or some billionaire or whatever, but I make money. Money I can use to live. And it's easier to manage that money whenever I'm working or whenever I'm living in dorms. So there's that. One thing that I do struggle with though is, and this is something I've struggled with forever since I was in high school, but I'm working on it. I'm actually getting better about it. Is paying for frivolous things that I don't need. So yeah. Now I'd like to think I'm doing better with my money. I'm doing better with my cap space and everything. I'm starting to save little by little. But as far as typical jobs, I've worked a typical job before, and you make so much more money. The problem is they don't pay enough still. It's still minimum wage, so if you're living on your own, working for like rent and whatnot. Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into general life. So if you're working a typical, like you could be a waiter or like a fast food worker, or even like working a classic 9 to 5, a desk job. It still doesn't seem like it's worth it, because at the end of the day, you're not really doing anything that important, so to speak. And it's not really something that ultimately feels worth the hassle in the end. In my opinion, I can't speak for everyone. I know doctors, though, doctors, nurses, and firefighters, police officers, people like that, they do it. They start bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Usually, they're the ones that are out there doing everything. And construction workers. Yeah, I'm more so mean like the white-collar jobs just don't seem like it's worth it anymore. Especially now with like college degrees. College degrees don't mean anything to people. You're not going to get anything unless you have like 15 years of experience, and it's a on the it's an entry level position. The amount of resumes I actually saw whenever that, or not resumes, but the amount of times I saw a job notice like, oh, this is what you need to, this is what you need to be able to apply for this job. If you don't have this stuff, then we're not going to call you for an interview. And I'm still looking for better paying. I'm still putting in resumes for that. More so anymore, I see people not working typical jobs. I see them working side side gigs and uh, or side hustles and gigs to get to make the money and to pay rent and things like that, groceries. It's no longer this a simple you work one job. A lot of people have to work like three jobs anymore. Through in some people manage to do it in college, and those people they tend anymore to hate life, from what I could see, and there's not much really to talk about here. That's more so just a small little rant about jobs. I mean, I kind of like door dashing, or I mean Uber Eats delivering, but at the same time, yeah, it's lackluster. If you're like not worried about much anything at all, you can do that pretty easily. The only thing you need is like a car, a decent car. I guess a Jeep works. That's what I use is a Jeep. But yeah. So